So you know XTRATUNA?
My name is David. Dad, I want some ice cream. David, that is my name. David, I want another. David.
He's the guy who made that song, Jackie's Box. You've maybe heard of it if you are involved in the FNAF community at all. It's even spread larger than that. And I am genuinely a fan of his. His name is Nathan Savidge, and he was born in 1998, so he's around 26 to 27 years old. He lives in England, and I want to say for the record, I am not doxing him. There was an interview with him by the channel Nutcase. I will include that in the description below. And in this interview, he showed a job resume. And we'll get more into this later, but this job resume could have been a troll. For example, he redacted some information, but kept his email in there. That's where it says 1998. I'm assuming that was the year he was born. And also the last name Savidge. It could not be his last name at all, so that's kind of up in the air, but we'll talk more about that later. I remember the first time I watched Jackie's Box with my girlfriend, we were just entranced by it, and so we went and watched every single video on his channel, all of his songs, and we found something really special about him. So we're going to talk about Jackie's Box first here. It is a song about the game Secret of the Mimic, the upcoming Five Nights at Freddy's game. And to put in perspective how big this song has gotten, it has 5 million views, which is more than the initial teaser trailer for Secret of the Mimic and the most recent gameplay trailer combined. And you can multiply it by 1.5-ish, like, a little less than 2, and it still has more views. It is bigger than the reach of the game right now, or at least just from those two trailers. Just a little side note, I think there has to be a reference to it in Secret of the Mimic. I think they're gonna throw something in, like maybe a line about it was difficult to put the pieces together, from Edwin or something. I don't know. Maybe one of the stock photos he used for Edwin or David will like show up in a book, just off to the side. I think it's possible. But the coolest part about this song or the idea of a reference is that it's already in the games, and this is one of the first interesting things that leads you on to XTRATUNA really being an impressive composer. I'm going to play a video I found on Twitter, and I'm sorry I could not find the original poster, and it is a clip from the Mimic's jump scare in one of the most recent FNAF games, Ruin. So he took that clip of that jump scare and turned it into Entrance of the Gladiators, the circus song. That one. And that's just really impressive. Nobody noticed for a really long time because it just sounds good. It's got this frantic, intense feeling to it, and it just really sets the tone well for that song. And it's really cool that that jump scare sound kind of doesn't belong to Ruin anymore, because more people are going to recognize it from Jackie's Box. Nobody recognized that sample as, oh, that's the Mimic jump scare. It took somebody replaying Ruin to hear it and be like, oh, that's from Jackie's Box. So in a way, he already kind of is in the games because of just how massive this song got. It's really cool. I've also found that this is not his first time using Entrance of the Gladiators. He seems to actually be a fan of it, and it is kind of a banger. But if we look at his album that he released on YouTube, Odious, I think that's how it's pronounced, and go to the very last track, you'll hear it. Kind of has more of like a Sonic OST vibe to it. It's pretty cool. And that whole album is just experimental and a really interesting listen that it strips you away from the nerdcore music as he described it and puts you more into his creative view of how he produces music. That's one of the things that's interesting about him, is that no two songs are really the same. I'm now going to play a clip from the start of his Baldi's Basics song, and you'll hear that he is flowing pretty hard.
So you came to my school, but you gotta be cool, gotta solve my math and follow rules. Tick tock, there goes the clock, and it's in this room where you belong.
You know, this is a Baldi's Basics song, and he's got that voice filter on that makes him sound like Baldi, and he's got this art on the screen. You wouldn't expect him to kind of, like, flow. And then he does this.
But wait. I'm coming!
I am Baldi, you're in my school.
So, okay, a little bit of a beat drop there. 4-minute song. Let's skip ahead a little bit. Okay, same thing. Let's skip ahead a little more. Okay, still the same thing. Alright, and it's just the same thing all the way to the end. Maybe he was trying the thing where you take the same beat and play that over and over and see how long you can do vocals on top of it. But Drake also does that, and Drake fucking sucks. Not to compare him to Drake, by any stretch of the imagination. Like, that's not what I was trying to say. I just wanted to shit on Drake. And that's not the only song he flows in. I think he really has a talent for this, so I'm gonna play a little clip from his song Animatronic Assassin. It's about the Walton Files, not something I'm very familiar with.
You conspired against me, you broke my heart. You took my honest dream and you tore it apart. Stop me, will you join me? Take my hand and run away inside this wonderland and play. We'll be together every day and then we'll conquer every human, steal their essence and their souls and make a better one for everyone's a fucking robot.
Like, what? You can't tell me that doesn't actually go hard. There's no sense of like, oh, we're looking at a Baldi's Basics song, kind of tear it apart. Okay, yeah, there's some flow here. It's no, that's just good. That's like actually a headbanger, and it's just so different from some of his other songs, like Insect Collection, a Digital Circus song. Yeah, he rhymes prison with prison. And there were also, like, mic quality issues, and the beat is relatively the same. It's not my favorite of his. So, let's go look at his Hello Neighbor song. I hate Hello Neighbor, like, with a burning passion. I have a lot to say about that, but there are already so many videos out there about why Hello Neighbor sucks, so I don't think I'll get into it. I'm saying that as context. This is not a song going in that I think I would like, and it's got a goofy and weird feel, but let me play a little bit of it for you.
Feeling afraid, but I can't let myself run away. 2, 3, 4, Theodore, I'll go through your basement door.
This is impressive. This is impressive composing. I won't argue about that.
I am the neighbor, I live next to you, and my life is so normal, so what do? Well, you sneak and you creep and you touch on my thing.
And there he has the neighbor from Hello Neighbor, rapping well. So you may have seen a pattern in his nerdcore lyrics. I'm just gonna play 2 more little snippets and see if you can pick up on it. But also for this first snippet, it does show the pattern well, but also this beat drop, like, it is, I'll let you see it.
Tonight I'll kill everyone in Playtime Co. Stabbing through their brains. I'll make them all feel pain. Feel pain the same.
I am the prototype.
Was that not a crazy good lead into a beat drop? And then it's just, like, what?
My rotting flesh inside my body.
Okay, that's all I need to play from that one to make my point here. He's writing every single one of these songs from the perspective of the character. Like, he's singing the songs through the character. And I think that's an interesting choice. It's definitely intentional, but I feel like it might be holding him back a little bit. He does a lot of, my name is blank, you know, I am the prototype, my name is the fucking mimic, oh yeah, my name is David, my name is Edwin. I'll list a couple other examples on screen because I can't think of them off the top of my head. His lyrics get the most scrutiny, and I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing for him to be, like, writing his songs from the mouth of the characters, but I would really like to see him experiment with not doing that. For example, the Living Tombstone, Five Nights at Freddy's songs are also nerdcore. They're also very just in the world of Five Nights at Freddy's, but they're not saying like, my name, perspective of the animatronics, right? But not exactly a character. We don't have all of the cast of Undertale just showing up to introduce themselves and tell us exactly what they did in the games.
Underground, underground. My name is
Yo, I'm Flowey, right on the mic, ready to sing and ready for a bite of a hot dog.
I am Caster. I fell into the core.
I actually really like the story behind that song. He talked about it in the interview he did with Nutcase. What is their channel called? Nutcase. It's called Nutcase. I knew it wasn't Nutsack, but I had whatever. I like the story behind it. As it goes, he showed up to a party with just stuff to record, I guess a laptop and a microphone. And so he just had people take turns doing their own different characters. And so there's some silly stuff in there, like someone does a German accent, and you can hear laughing in the background at some point. And I was confused about that, so I'm glad he talked about it. But that doesn't mean there aren't more questions to be answered. The biggest one from the community at large is he trolling? Now, there were people saying that initially when Jackie's Box dropped, and I think that was kind of unfair. The way I see it, he is an artist, he is making music and putting it out there for the world to see. And it seems like he is kind of early on in his music career, so we're watching him learn and grow along the way. And your earlier stuff is just not going to be as good as your later stuff. And even your later stuff, you're still learning, so it's not going to be perfect. And I feel like asking at the point of time of Jackie's Box, is he trolling? This is so bad. That's just not fair. That's just rude. And that song did get a lot of hate because that's just the way the internet is. It couldn't just be a fun thing to watch. I have so much respect for XTRATUNA on how he handled the hate on Jackie's Box, and then as a result of Jackie's Box getting so big, people went to his other songs and left a lot of hate comments as well. And he responded with a community post thanking everyone for 1,000 subscribers, which is what he hit at that time, and just being positive, and also clarifying that he does not use AI in his songs, and that's pretty cool. So I think pre-Jackie's Box, there were some things he did that were just intentionally fun and silly. But since then, since all of these comments have come up, oh, is he trolling? I think the line has been blurred, and I think he is a little bit. And that isn't to say that he's just doing all of this to troll. I think he's just having fun with it a little bit. Look at this clip from his most recent Five Nights at Freddy's 2 song. Not his most recent song, just his most recent FNAF one.
I am eating motherfucking bacon.
Like, in the middle of the song, that he just throws that in. And he pinned a comment in the description saying, damn, I put a clip from the parody video in here by accident. Sorry guys, regular song will be on SoundCloud soon. And how the fuck do you do that by accident? And he opens the interview with Nutcase like this. Then after that, mid-interview, he shows that resume I was referencing earlier, which, by the way, at the bottom, let me pull this up, one of his awards is that he was the winner of the Under-9s United Youth Doncaster Swimming Awards of 2004. And would he put that on a resume? I don't think so. He has real work experience at the top, and he lists his skills Adobe Premiere. Like, why would he include that on a real resume? Along with the name Nathan Savidge, I think he may have used a normal, regular resume he had as reference, and then threw in some trolls in there. Like his email, Wrecked Savage 1998. Why would he put that on a resume? And he decided to share this resume because mid-interview, he gets a phone call and is like, oh, sorry guys, I gotta take this, and like leaves his mic on so that people can hear. And it's someone telling him he didn't get the job he had applied for. And like, no way that happened mid-interview. And the way the voice sounded over the phone sounded like someone with a voice changer. I think that was just a really good bit he set up in advance. And that's why he showed the resume. He was like, yeah, I thought it was good at the time, but I don't really know. Which feels like a lead-in to say, to imply that this is real. Oh man, I kind of messed up in the past, to like make the trolling less obvious.
Hello?
Hello? Is this Nathan Savage?
Yes, speaking.
Hi. This is Primark calling. You
yeah.
interviewed us last Saturday at 3 p.m., correct?
Oh yeah, that's correct. Yes.
Yeah, we regret to inform you. After careful consideration, we've had to decline your application. Following your interview, we looked over your CV and we feel as though you don't meet the requirements needed for the job. Apologies.
Yeah, I definitely could have. Sorry, my CV could have probably been a bit better.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of unsolved questions about this guy, and I hope this video reaches him because I would love to do an interview with him as well. It looks like he's open to contacting smaller channels. I don't know how we would figure that out. If you do see this, Extra or Tuna, sounds like you go by Extra for short, leave a comment and we can work it out. I would want to focus more on the creative side of things, right? On your resume, it said you did like 2D art and some animations. And does that mean you did the animations of the Bad Luck Brian video, or do you do the art, like all of the art for the videos? I've got questions about that. And I've also got questions about the voices in your songs. Like it sounded like there's a female voice in the background of Theodore. There's also that opera singing in the new FNAF 2 song and the like Skrillex Moodang song. Forgot to mention, he just started doing a shit ton of Moodang songs. Like one was regular, one was polka, one was Perry Grip in styled. You remember Perry Grip? That was like Mr. Raisin Toast and hit you in the face with a soccer ball. I don't remember. Rain and Tacos, that was one. Anyway, wait, one of them had like a scream mid-song. Hold up. Ah! yeah, right. I totally forgot about that. I want to know who did the voices for Edwin, David, the Mimic. So yeah, I want to know more about your creative process. Now that Nutcase did that interview and we got to know you a little bit more, that's sort of what I want to focus on. So if you end up seeing this, contact me. If anyone has a way of sending this to him, please do that. And I think that's going to be it for this video. So thank you for listening to me ramble about XTRATUNA for however long this was. And maybe the next video will be an interview. Who knows? See you later. Thanks for watching. Oh, subscribe. Wait, I should say that.